So, we've all heard people say that Batman Arkham Knight looks way better than Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which, if you think about it, is kind of weird, seeing as how Arkham Knight came out all the way back in 2015, and Suicide Squad came out in 2024. What exactly about Arkham Knight would make people say something like this? I mean, Suicide Squad does have better graphics, you can't debate that, seeing as how they used a better engine, yet people still say that Knight looks better. Let's discuss why that might be. For reference, Batman Arkham Knight, despite looking so incredible, was actually made in Unreal Engine 3. This was due to the fact that Unreal 4 was released about a year from Arkham Knight's release, and seeing as how they were just so far into development, because they'd been already developing for years, they just decided to stick with Unreal 3. Suicide Squad, on the other hand, used Unreal Engine 4, as like in Arkham Knight, or like for Arkham Knight, I guess, Unreal 5 was released while the game was already in development, so they just decided to stick with it. Now, take a look at Arkham Knight. Again, released on Unreal 3, which itself actually was released in 2006. This is the same engine used for all the previous Arkham games, so why does it look so much better? Well, obviously there were graphical and technological enhancements to this engine, as well as the computers that this game was developed on, and the hardware that was going on to the consoles and PCs at the time. How does it make it look so much better than a game that was released only a year ago? You know, I've already said how Suicide Squad does have better graphics than Arkham Knight. That is undebatable. So I feel that it has to do with the atmosphere that Rocksteady wanted for Arkham Knight. The aesthetic, the world building, all of it achieved by Rocksteady, the level of small details put into this game that just enhanced the experience, and the feeling that Rocksteady really wanted for the players, just to give off the idea that this is in fact the city of Gotham. The problem with Suicide Squad is that it tries to do too much and also too little at the same time when it comes to the world that you play in. Or, I guess I should say, worlds. In Arkham Knight, you have one single city with plenty of sub-areas to explore, and it really works for this game. You know, it's not like the sub-areas taking so much space, it's just pretty small areas for you to collect Riddler trophies, do missions, whatever. But in Suicide Squad, it has a much bigger world, being twice the size of Arkham Knight's map, and having literal other worlds. Like, not just other cities, but other worlds for you to explore. Seeing as how they had to develop a brand new gunplay system, make a new map, and make other worlds / dimensions, I feel that they really tried to go for way too much. I also feel that the city metropolis is just kind of bland. Not in terms of, like, you know, architecture, sub-areas, but just the general atmosphere is as captivating as Gotham City. The weather they have doesn't look great, I guess. The rain looks nowhere near as good as the rain in Arkham Knight, and I feel the main reason is because they added the whole day-night cycle, and it cycles through the day and the night as the game goes on. And the weather changes as well, unlike Arkham Knight, where it just has one time of day and one weather type throughout most of the game. There is some sunlight when you're playing as Gordon for like 2 minutes, and even then you go inside practically immediately. I also, you know, kind of realize that there's technically other types of weather in Arkham Knight, seeing as how there's, you know, snow after completing the Season of Infamy mission, as well as like flower petals or pollen or whatever whenever Ivy sacrifices herself, and technically cloudburst, but whatever. Notice Rocksteady didn't really go haywire when it came to weather or the type of day in Arkham Knight. They only did what the story demanded. This is one of the problems that Suicide Squad had. Now, I'm not saying it never could have worked, but the way they did it just wasn't great. And I feel, and this might be a little controversial, GTA 5's rain looked better than Suicide Squad. And not just its rain, but all of the weather. And GTA 5 was released all the way in 2013, even before Arkham Knight, and I feel it looks better. How? The other thing is the aesthetic, as I previously brought up, and the world that was created for these games. If you just take a look here at Arkham Knight, you will just see just the level of love and care that went into making the city feel alive and breathing. Even in games like Asylum and City, the world just felt real, and each one had character to it that made them feel special. Suicide Squad just kind of felt like big average city. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some parts of Metropolis that I really do find cool, or at least just interesting. But most of it just feels like any other city, besides parts that, you know, like big statues or signs that point out the fact that this game does take place in Metropolis. It's almost like all of it is there just so you don't forget what city you're in, because you could easily confuse it with another city. Take all that out and it would probably just look like some type of GTA map or like a knockoff New York or something like that. But when looking at Gotham, it's all the little things in the map that really just give it that extra amount of life to it. I mean, one is kind of a bland-ish city with only a little bit to help it, and one genuinely looks like it deserves the title of the worst city in America. I will give them the benefit of the doubt. Metropolis doesn't have that much that would make it stand out, unlike something such as Gotham. Metropolis is just generally known as big, typically normal-looking, sunny day city. So they couldn't really do much to make it, like, stand out as they could with Gotham. The thing is, it's not just Metropolis, you know, and, like, Metropolis isn't even the only problem. This game also decides to introduce the whole fucking multiverse, I guess. So, of course, we have to go and visit plenty of other worlds, but they're all kinda lame. And you wanna know the problem? They're all the same! Just, like, little bitty details that are changed in each one. Like, seriously, most of these are just giant little wasteland areas, but, oh, one might have a Joker theme, or another might be covered in snow, and that's kind of it. There's a couple I like, though. You know, the Gotham-themed one, or the medieval-looking one that you get whenever you're playing as a Deathstroke. They actually look like, you know, more time and effort was put into them, and the aesthetic for these few worlds is actually pretty good. It's not all bad. Like, they actually look decently well, and I feel my favorite is definitely the Gotham one, but I do love the music for the medieval one. I really like it. One thing that I feel that this game had going for it was its character models. I feel that this game had really good character models. Both face models and character designs were just really good for this game, and it's honestly a shame that they went to such a waste on such a poorly received game. Okay, take a look at some of the designs for the Justice League. You can see how much effort they put into making these designs. They're kept classic, but are made to be modernized. Two examples. Superman. You have Superman and Green Lantern. They look almost ripped right out of the comics, just made to, you know, look more modernized and realistic for this, you know, realistic world that they made. The game really doesn't have, you know, it has really good character models and designs for it, but it sadly just all went down the drain because, you know, the game isn't very good. So, yeah. Well, that's basically all I have to say, so if you enjoyed, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment down below which game you think looks better between Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, and Batman Arkham Knight. Also, you know, make sure you share this video with someone, you know, even if it's your fucking grandma, you know, like, send this to your grandma and just see what she thinks. She'll either be like, oh, thank you, Sonny, or, oh, what the fuck is this? It doesn't matter. Share it with your grandma. Now! That's all. See ya.